It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi folks, today our theme is the most wonderful time of the year. Now I know you all think that's a Christmas song. Well, for me, the most wonderful time of the year is summertime. And the reason is all of the fruits and vegetables come out in the summertime and eating is wonderful. So I always sing, it's the most wonderful time of the year when I get fresh peaches. I sing it's the most wonderful time of the year when I get fresh nectarines, or watermelons, or corn, or tomatoes, because there's nothing like good summer produce. So that's our theme today, and I'm going to be doing a couple of videos on some of the things available in the summer. Today we're going to be doing a recipe for blueberries. This is a recipe from my cookbook, Sunday Brunch and Everyday Breakfast. And what it is a rice salad with blueberries and some other ingredients. This is actually a breakfast meal. You don't have to eat it for breakfast. You know, there are probably 1 billion or more people in this world that eat rice for breakfast. Americans are actually different in that way. I discovered this recipe, which I have long since adapted and changed and edited down many years ago, and I have fiddled with it, but I got the confirmation on the rice for breakfast several years ago when my husband and I went to a festival that dealt with Buddhism. And one thing they did was they had a booth where you could try the food that the Buddhist monks eat. One of those was a rice dish that they had for breakfast. And it was basically a simple rice dish, rice, some oil, some nuts, some fruit. We're going to do something very similar today. But don't think that this is a Buddhist simple dish, because this dish can get very complex, and it can also be modified based on the fruits available at any given time. So let's get started. What I have here is 2 cups of brown rice. You don't have to use brown rice. I use brown rice just because I think it goes better in this dish. If you like white rice, that's fine. So we've got 2 cups of rice. It's gotten cold now, which is right. You want to get it cold. And all we're going to do is add a bunch of ingredients to it, and we're going to stir it up, and we're going to have breakfast. So what I'm going to add is proteins and fruit and nuts. That's what makes this a complete breakfast. So I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese, and I know you're all out there groaning, but cottage cheese is a fabulous protein. If you ever want to have a good low-fat protein, cottage cheese is it. Next, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of, this is a low-fat plain yogurt, and I'm going to mix that in a little bit. It's kind of goopy now, but we're going to add some honey. This is a 1/4 cup of honey. And we're going to stir that up very nicely. Now, rice in itself, I mean, obviously one reason to use brown rice is because it's high in fiber, which is good for you, and I'm all about that. But rice also has its own, it's a complex grain, and it has its own qualities in terms of its own proteins and how it works with other proteins. It's a very, brown rice is a very efficient food, and when it's combined with cottage cheese, you really have a pretty substantial and complete meal. Then we're going to add some lemon juice. I'm going to put in the juice of 1 lemon, and this is my handy dandy lemon juicer. I might get some lemon seeds in there, but you know, that doesn't bother me. I don't really care. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to, I'm going to get rid of some of these seeds. We're going to zest the lemon. So we're going to give a little lemon sparkle. This is the greatest device ever. Then I'm going to take my microplane, and you can use a grater or whatever, and I'm going to put some lemon zest. Now when you're zesting a lemon, you don't want to go too deep because the pith, which is that lighter part of the peel underneath, is actually bitter. So you want to try to keep it fairly shallow when you're getting the zest off your lemon. Okay, that looks good. So now comes the gilding of the lily part. This is the basic part of the recipe. The rest is where you can really do variety. For this one, since it's summer, I'm going to use blueberries. I actually got these blueberries off the blueberry bush outside. It's one little bush. It's quite prolific. That thing can, I easily got 2 quarts of blueberries off of that bush. This is the last of them. So I'm going to put about a cup of blueberries in, fresh blueberries. And pecans go great with blueberries. So I'm going to put in some pecans. They're kind of coarsely chopped. And we're going to put in a little bit of cinnamon just to gild that lily a little bit more. And voila. So you toss this all together. And you let it sit for about 30 minutes to let the flavors meld together. I like it cold in the morning. You could serve this at room temperature on a salad, for instance, if you wanted to have it for lunch. Hey, you know, go crazy. Put some chopped chicken in and have it for dinner. It's really quite adaptable to whatever you want to do. You can vary the fruits and nuts. For instance, you could use peaches and almonds. You could use apples and walnuts. I did that at as a demonstration at a farmer's market a year or 2 ago, showing this recipe, and I used it with apples and walnuts because that's what was at the farmer's market at the time. So it's a very, very open recipe. And what you would do is, once it's sat for about 30 minutes, put it in your dish, and you have breakfast or whatever. There you are. Rice salad for breakfast. Thanks a lot. See you later. So what did you learn from today's video?
I learned that brown rice is a complex food, and when combined with cottage cheese makes a complete meal. And I learned I went to some event that I have no recollection of going to.
So let me ask you another question. Have you ever eaten rice for breakfast before?
Yes,
Where?
in a breakfast burrito.
Have you ever had my breakfast rice salad before?
Yes.
For breakfast?
No.